Welcome to Hangar 18. Before you start climbing, please watch this brief orientation video so you can better understand all of the rules and protocols of our facilities. Please be aware that it is your responsibility when visiting other Hangar 18 locations to ask the staff for any gym-specific rules that pertain to the facility that you are attending before you begin climbing. If you have any questions, be sure to ask the staff at the conclusion of this video. Prior to climbing, one of the first things that you will be required to do is complete a liability release, where you will be informed of many of the risks involved with indoor climbing, and by signing the form, agree to waive all liability for the gym. Be sure to read this document carefully and only sign after you've read it in full, understand and agree to all terms, and have had any questions relating to the waiver answered by our staff. All minors who wish to climb must have a waiver completed by their parent or legal guardian, and while children ages 2 and up can use our facility under parental supervision, we do have minimum ages for some activities. Climbers must be ages 14 or over to use the bouldering wall unattended or lead climb or to top rope belay for another climber. This age limit is dropped to 12 and up for USAC competitive climbing team members. All climbers under this age limit who wish to use the bouldering wall must be closely accompanied by a parent or other adult, and we recommend that children under 10 be spotted at all times. We ask that all climbers be courteous to all other climbers in the gym, refrain from running, and report any potentially unsafe practices you might see to a staff member immediately. Before we begin, it is important that you understand that rock climbing is a dangerous sport and there is the risk of injury even if you're doing everything right. Following the rules and using all appropriate gear will minimize but not eliminate the risk to climbers, meaning that there is always the potential for serious injury even if you're using the proper climbing protocols. If you have any questions about any rules or protocols in the gym, simply ask a staff member at any time and we will be happy to assist you. Please be aware that an introductory class is mandatory for all new climbers, which is included at no additional cost with all Hangar 18 memberships and is available for purchase for day use as well. After checking in at the front desk, getting any necessary rental equipment, and removing any rings or sharp jewelry that you might have, it is time to get to the climbing. There are 4 types of climbing available at Hangar 18 locations, although not all types are offered at all locations. These types of climbing are bouldering, top roping, lead climbing, and auto belay use. Each type of climbing can be done only in specific areas, so be sure to ask the staff where each one of these activities is allowed. All climbs in our gyms are color-coded and individually graded with a start tag indicating the name, color, and difficulty of each route or problem. The grade systems will either start with a V followed by a number for bouldering or a 5 followed by a number for roped or auto belay climbing. The higher that number is, the harder the climb will be. While you're welcome to climb whatever you like, we encourage new climbers to start with climbs that are rated V0 or VB for bouldering and 5.5 or 5.6 for roped or auto belay climbing. Once you've warmed up on some easier routes, you can start trying harder grades, and feel free to ask the staff for some suggestions on where to go as well. Bouldering is the term for climbing on lower walls over a padded surface, where no ropes are used to catch the climber in the event of a fall. Since there are no ropes, if you fall, you will hit the ground every time. The higher you climb, the harder you will hit when you fall. But it's important to understand that even falls from close to the ground can result in serious injury. Before climbing, always make sure that your landing zone is clear of all objects and people, and that the path or boulder problem you are attempting will not take you within 10 feet of anyone else who's currently on the wall. There is a definite risk of injury in bouldering, so you want to take the following precautions to reduce these risks when you are climbing. It's important to note that as with all types of climbing, there's always the risk of injury even if you're doing everything correctly, so be aware of the risks before participating in this activity. When you are bouldering, never climb higher than you feel comfortable falling, since even if you're being careful, there's always the chance that your foot could slip or a hold could spin or break and you could fall unexpectedly. We always recommend down climbing instead of dropping off the wall, using the easiest holds available to get back down to the ground. If you do fall, there are a few points to remember. First, absorb as much shock as you can with your feet and legs. Your feet should be shoulder width apart and your knees should start off slightly bent. Second, keep your arms in and chin down. If you reach out with your arms, it can greatly increase the risk of an elbow or shoulder injury. Lastly, after absorbing as much force as you can with your legs, you can let your momentum carry you to roll out of the fall. Staying loose and relaxed during a fall helps as well, which will come with practice. If you feel like a climb is putting you at an awkward angle, down climb to the ground and ask either the staff or a friend for a spot before trying the climb again. Spotting, or standing close to underneath a climber as they climb and using your hands to help them regain a vertical orientation if they fall, is not designed to prevent you from falling or to catch you if you do fall, but to help you land on your feet instead of falling at an odd angle and protect your head, spine, and arms. Spotting is usually recommended but may not be necessary for every climb. If you're spotting another climber, remember to keep your thumbs in and aim for the climber's shoulder blades to help them out. It is important to know that spotting does not guarantee that injury will not occur in the event of a fall, but it is a technique that can decrease the risk of injury in some cases if utilized correctly. Top roping is the style of climbing in which a climber ties into a rope that is running from their harness up through an anchor system at the top of the wall and back down to their partner on the other side. Their partner then uses a belay device on the other end of the rope to take in slack and catch the climber if they fall. Top roping requires knowing and adhering to proper belay protocols and procedures and has a number of inherent risks. To top rope at Hangar 18, all climbers must either take a belay lesson or demonstrate your competence with the belay system by passing a belay test given by our staff. Hangar 18 requires the use of a figure-8 follow-through knot for the climber, an assisted locking belay device such as the gree-gree for the belayer, and we do not allow aperture belay devices or any non-locking belay system to be used in our facilities at any time. Belay lessons are available for free for all Hangar 18 members or are available for purchase as a one-day package. Regardless of your level of experience, always utilize proper climbing communication, double-check all systems, namely the harnesses, knot, belay device, and carabiner, and be aware that you are participating in an activity that carries with it the inherent risk of injury. Lastly, if you have long hair, please be sure to keep it away from the belay device when giving a top rope belay so it does not get caught in the device and pulled. Again, if you ever have any questions, ask our staff at any time and they will be happy to help you out. Auto belays are mechanical devices that, when properly clipped into your harness, take in slack for you as you climb and lower you slowly to the floor if you fall or let go of the wall. Auto belay climbing involves the extra risk of climbing without a partner to double check your system, which makes it even more important that you do these checks for yourself every time. For this reason, we ask that you get a buddy check from either the staff or a friend, where you show them your system for a double check before leaving the ground. Be aware that, as with all types of climbing, there are inherent risks involved with the auto belay system, and that even when using the equipment properly, these risks can be minimized but not truly eliminated. When setting up to auto belay climb, ensure that your carabiner is clipped into your primary belay point and that your harness fits properly, is buckled correctly, and has been tightened as much as possible. Test the system by pulling down on the webbing and ensuring that it retracts before climbing. Only climb on auto belay approved routes, which will be indicated by the start tags, and do not climb more than 5 feet to either side of the center line directly below the auto belay. When coming down from a route, do not grab the auto belay webbing while you're still hanging on the wall, and instead wait until your body is already being supported and lowered by the system before grabbing the webbing. Lastly, once you are finished climbing, please connect the auto belay webbing back to the triangular gate at the bottom of your route before moving on to other parts of the gym. Lead climbing is an advanced technique that involves clipping your rope in as you ascend the wall, and it is not for beginners. Lead climbing requires either completion of a lead class at Hangar 18 or completion of a lead test to ensure that the climber can both lead and lead belay competently using a Hangar 18 approved belay device. If you are going to use your own rope or an assisted locking belay device other than a Petzl gree-gree or gree-gree 2, please show them to the staff for approval prior to climbing. Do not lead climb within 10 feet of any other route that is in use, and look where your route is going to ensure that following it will not result in this situation. Do not pull any lead ropes from the wall, and instead check out lead ropes from the front desk. Climbers are not allowed to skip clips at any point, and doing so will result in immediate expulsion from the gym. Similarly, any errors in technique, such as back clipping, Z-clipping, toe tucking errors, poor belay skills, poor falling skills, or any other failure to adhere to good lead climbing protocols can result in the climber's lead privileges being revoked pending a new lead test at a later date. Be aware that lead climbing and lead belaying are both high-risk activities and can result in injury or death to either party, even if you're not making any mistakes. When lead belaying, belayers must be attentive at all times, avoid excessive slack in the rope, wear either climbing or street shoes, and always use a stopper knot. Again, lead climbing is a technical and complex system, so first-time climbers will not be allowed to participate in this activity. Rock climbing at Hangar 18 is a fantastic way to get a great workout and make new friends, and we hope that this orientation video has got you started on the right foot. Thank you for watching, and again, please ask the staff if you have any additional questions before climbing. Take care, have fun, and we hope that you enjoy your time at Hangar 18.